Can I put a question to you all, please? And I'd like you to answer me to that. We're about to film this session to make it available for others who couldn't be here today. But if anyone objects to being on film, they should really try and write it down and let me know. Okay, you don't have to raise your hand now, so do write it down on a piece of paper and leave it here, and I'll get in touch with you. Okay, thanks very much. In any case, you won't be filmed from here. We'll only show that side, so it should be fairly straightforward.
Okay. Don't stretch out.
You're going to be mostly there, Chris?
Yeah. And Christine, just to say something to start off with.
Oh, okay. So I set it up so that you can be either side of the screen, but not too far.
I won't want to do that.
Yeah, both of us in there.
You're fine there, Christina.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to talk to you about the module that George and Chris are going to talk to you about. On Monday, we had an induction session for students, which is all on the website now, the SDS website. So I just wanted to come in and say hi, so you know who I am, Christine Vickerman, the Student Support Advisor. So if any of you have any personal or pastoral concerns, anything that affects your ability to study, but not academic issues, then I'm the person you come and see. And at the moment, it's a little bit like a building site in the Ingram building, and I'm on the second floor. So ignore the builders, I am still there in room 209. And should you need to email, you just email spssupport, all one word, at kent.ac.uk. And I'll talk to any students who have whatever their difficulties are, they come and talk to me. If you need disability support of any kind, do come and talk to me about it, and I can pass you on to the disability unit should you need that. So I just wanted to say hello. So, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. So we're here today just to give you a general introduction to a couple of the modules that you're going to be taking throughout your first year with us here at the university, throughout the foundation year, of sort of whatever your respective subjects are. So just to, come in please, take a seat. So just before I start anything in particular, could I pass this sheet around and find your names on there? If you just sign your names next to the sheet, it's just an attendance sheet just to show who was here during this session. So I started at the front. If you could just sign your names on there and keep passing it around, lots of people to get around. And I'll talk a little more about attendance as I go through my little talk here, so this won't take very long. But just to introduce myself, my name's Dr. Chris Shepherd, and I'm a lecturer here officially in forensic science. So you sort of forensic foundation years, you'll be seeing a lot more of me as you go through your degree, I'm afraid. So good luck with that. And I'm officially a lecturer in forensic science, but I teach in particular things like ballistics, firearms, explosives, and all the maths and things that are related to that. So there's a lot of maths related to my subject, which is why I teach these sort of things as well. So that's sort of my background, just so you know. And as we go through some of the classes, I'll try and sort of integrate a bit of my background into the maths as well, just to keep it a bit more interesting, a bit different, and hopefully you'll enjoy that as we go along as well. So the module that I'm going to introduce here is PH020, and it's Algebra and Arithmetic. And this module is the most simple, basic maths module that the university offers. It's starting right from the very, very beginnings, and some of you will find a lot of, or if not all of the content extremely easy, I'm sure. If you have A-levels in maths or sort of physics to any sort of real level, then you may find it extremely easy, but you may pick up a few things as you go along. Those that don't have any maths qualifications other than a GCSE, it may be a little more taxing, but the whole point of this is to bring everybody up to a certain level. And that's what the foundation year in general is all about, is bring everybody up to a nice level so you can go into your respective levels of study and do really well. And we find very often that the students that come through the foundation year go on to do very, very well in their degrees, because we teach you. So just a quick introduction here. Why do PH020? Well, basically what I've said here, or what I've just said, is that we're just going to bring you up to a very, very basic level, and you're going to be doing, probably most of you are going to be doing several other maths modules throughout this first year as well. And this will be the easiest, and you'll be doing other modules which will build on what I'm doing, will be very different to what I'm doing, and with a combination of all those modules, you're going to have a good background in maths for any of the physical sciences that are taught here at the university. So that's the whole point of this. In terms of contact hours, it's quite an intensive module, and it goes on all throughout this first term, basically. So after this first term, you won't see me until the exams in the summer, and then that's when you'll just really hate me. So in this module, we're going to have 36 lectures, and that's 3 lectures every week. So, and as you can see, the slots we have, they should be on your timetables, but we've got a Monday 5 till 6 in here, Friday 1 till 2 in here, and then Friday 4 till 5, so you see me twice on a Friday in Keynes. So you may have already been over there, but that's another big, very big lecture that we're over in Keynes College. As well as the 36 lectures, 3 each week, nice and evenly spaced, we're also going to have around about 8 examples classes. We may move a couple, or may not use them all, but they're there in case we need them. And those classes, in the main lectures, I will teach you the actual course material. In the example classes, we will go through examples. So in the lectures, it's just me. In the example class, it's myself and 2 postgraduate research students. And we're there to basically help you as much as you need it. So we'll go over many examples related to what we've been learning in the lectures. As I said, that's the sessions where I'll try and bring my background and spin on things to keep it a little more interesting rather than just doing this general, fairly dull mathematics at times. And then each of those sessions will just try to get you guys practicing, and that's what they're for. And so we're going to have 8 timetables. We might not use them all, depends what we require really. But a very, very important point at the bottom there is that attendance of all of these events will be monitored at random, and your attendance will be marked upon the student data system. As I've got this grid coming around now to check your attendance here today, and I will use those at random, so they won't be at every session because it takes a reasonable amount of time to get round, but they will be coming round at intermittent times just to check that you're still attending. Because, for example, if you don't attend any of these sessions and you start failing quite horribly, it's all your fault. Whereas if you attend everything and things aren't going so well, we can look into why they're not going so well. It might be me, hopefully it's not me, but hopefully I'll do a good job with you guys. So, a little note here, since example classes don't start until week 5, I will be available during that slot that we would normally have them every week up until then. So the first 4 weeks I will be available, and if you email me, my email is on the front of this slide and on the front of all of these slides that you'll get during my lectures. If you drop me a line and say, I'm not having a little problem with this, could we go over this? That's the slot that we'll use. You can come and visit me, and I'll go over one-on-one or with a small group if there's several of you struggling with a certain bit. And we'll try and get into the nitty-gritty and get you guys up to that level that we require. So please just drop me a line if you're having any problems with the course at all. Don't just hide away. It's very easy when you come to university. This is all it should, for most of you, I imagine, this is your first experience of university, and it's a very daunting experience because you've got all these other people around you, and other people may be finding it extremely easy. Some of your best friends that you will make here will be finding it extremely easy, and you might not be finding it so much. So please don't feel pigeonholed away. Don't feel that you can't talk to anyone. Just come and see me, and we'll do something to get your maths up to that level. That's what we're here for. So come and see us lecturers if you have any problems at all. That's what we do. And as I say here at the bottom, ask your friends about things. There's no harm in asking friends to say, I'm having a little problem with this. Work together on some things. And if you don't feel that you want to come and talk to me about it. So that's what I'm going to teach you. That's how I'm going to teach you. But now, how are you going to be assessed? Now, the way that this module is assessed, this module's been running for a number of years now, and the assessment pattern has changed dramatically this year. It changed very, very much. Last year, you had assignments for me every single week. So I gave you an assignment every single week, and you had to hand them in a week later, and you had 2 class tests. This year, you've got it easy. All you have in terms of assessment during the term is you've got 3 class tests. As you can see here, we're going to have the first class test in week 4, second class test week 7, and the last one week 12. So that's when you'll test. That's how your coursework assessment is going to be for this module. As you can see, the proportion that each one contributes to the module increases as you go along, because the first test should be extremely easy, the second one should be kind of easy, and the third one should just be, hopefully, just easy. But we'll see what happens. So, coursework is worth 30% of this overall module, and then in the summer, you're going to take an exam based on everything I've taught you, and that's going to be 70% of the overall module's mark. So most of the marks are there to be taken in the summer in a 2-hour exam. And virtually all the exams that you will take at this university will be split up in the same sort of way, that you have a short section at the beginning, so you'll choose 5 out of 6 short questions for the first part of the exam, and they'll be worth about 10 marks each. And then you choose 2 out of 4 longer questions, so slightly more difficult and progressive questions, which will be worth about 40 marks each. So that's how the exam goes on, but I will be telling you a lot more about that as the year and term goes on. Now, because the assessment pattern's changed, what I have is a load of old assignments left over from last year. So what I'm going to do, if you feel you need a little extra practice, is each week, or as I go through certain subjects, I'm going to release last year's class or last year's assignment test. So every week people have an assignment which they took home and did. This year you don't have to do those, but I'm going to release those on Moodle, so the digital system that we use to give out all lecture notes. They're going to be released sort of on around about a weekly basis, and you can have a look at those, and if you wanted to have a go at those assignments, you can give them to me. They won't be you won't get a physical mark for them, but I will mark them and show you how you've done and go through things with you if you'd like to use that opportunity. It's not compulsory, but it's there if you feel you want to test yourself on a certain subject that you're not completely sure about. I will, if you want to do the questions, hand them to me after a lecture, I'll take them away and mark them, and then I'll get them back to you as soon as possible. If you're going to make use of that, please make sure you write your full name on there, because there's several of you, they can get a bit muddled up in that. And make sure they're all put together, so if they're stapled together or if they're in a plastic sleeve or something. Therefore, they're going to stay together, it's easier for me to mark, and I'm not going to lose random sheets of paper. So just quickly, the syllabus of what we're going to cover throughout this 36-week or 36 lecture course. The first part, around about 12 lectures, is just basic arithmetic. So we're going to look at various, very, very simple things, and some of you may think I'm extremely silly going over very, very basic arithmetic, but even last year I went over it, and probably 20-30% of people were still messing up very basic arithmetic. And so those that feel that you're perfect at all this sort of thing, bear with me. Those that aren't so sure about maths, please embrace this and go with it. So you can see what we've got here. Significant figures, we'll get up to things like logarithms and exponential functions with it here as well. And then after that, we move on to algebra, and that's going to be more things like equation solving and manipulations, and lots of different types of equations and partial fractions and binomial theorem is about where we end up. So that's about the highest level of thing that we do on this course. Those of you who may have done that before. Just in terms of course texts, what we've got here, these are the 2 main books that I will use for the course throughout. I won't really refer to things because all of the material, all the teaching material, I'll go through in lectures. So if you want extra books or extra material to go and try or look into, then these are the 2 books I use. Most of it will come into this Foundation Maths book, and there are copies available in the library. There aren't enough copies for every single person to have one, so if you get a copy out, please feel free to share it around and help each other out. They did a group of you, so sort of get a bit of camaraderie going. That's the main thing I'll use, but some of the sort of later on, some of the higher level stuff that I'll do will come from the Core Maths A-level book here. So between those 2, the whole course is sort of taken from the way that I've written the material, how I want to teach it. And as I say, you can get them through the library catalogue or through the PH020 reading list, which should also be on Moodle as well. So there's a link on there which you can just click on Moodle and it will take you through the reading list on the library website. So that's about all I've got to say, really. unless anybody has any questions at all. Does anybody have any questions about what I've said, what you're going to be doing, or what's been going on at all? Yes?
You know you said there'll be the practice design.
I can probably release the answers as well. I will put them up one week, and then the following week I can put the answers up there as well. So I should have many.